And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Happy Tuesday to everybody. How's it going over there, Ben?
Oh, bad news. Just
It's
pulled
hot
up
in
on yahoo.com. The doomsday clock is now 85 seconds to midnight, the closest it's ever been. 4 seconds closer than it was last year.
Dude, I'm serious about this. You are addicted to just the gloomiest. Like, you want to start the show with the doomsday clock? That is what we're doing. It's a Tuesday. I'm in a good mood because I'm here and not sleeping next to a sick 4-year-old. And we're starting it out with the doomsday clock? Like, honestly, why? It's a sports show. This isn't even a news show.
It just hit me right in the face. It was front page, so I had to look at it. And,
you're such a freaking bozo.
You had to share it?
Well, I just read what I see. You know how we do.
I mean, like, I know. I need the word out. I need to get to all the people is the doomsday clock. Great. Where do we want to go from there?
They do it to me every time.
I'm not kidding. It has to go to death or doomsday or the plague.
Yeah.
What? I mean, should we sink our teeth into cancer?
1991, it was at 17 minutes, which is the furthest from doom.
It doesn't mean you need to do more. We're not asking for more.
Anyways, I like the idea of somebody controls the doomsday clock. There's some dude who wakes up every morning and calibrates it like you're winding a watch. You have to stay on top of the doomsday watch or the doomsday clock. Does somebody carry it around? Is it like the nuclear football? What do they call that? The briefcase that you have to carry around that has all the codes in it? Does somebody have to bring the doomsday clock around with them? I don't know. I'm curious about this. Now I'm curious.
I'm not.
I need a documentary about the doomsday clock. Well, I don't believe it, with all due respect. I mean, I understand its purpose, but I'm not a subscriber.
Then why'd you bring it up?
Yes. What's the point?
It's on the very front page of Yahoo News, which is where I get my news. It's where I get my dailies.
I don't care how Yahoo or what they have at the top. That doesn't mean it has to be the top of our show.
Anyways, how are you?
Terrible. I was happy to be here, and now I'm not.
Oh. I'm feeling fine. The doomsday clock did nothing to change my mood.
I'm so happy for you.
Sorry, I didn't know it was...
This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not.
You were excited to be doing a Tuesday show? Now you are not.
Now I'm not. Let's dive into BYU's loss, Ben. It's right up your alley. You want to call one of the players cold and rub it in?
No, it's not my job.
You want to get Richie Saunders on the horn and ask why they didn't play a little better?
No, it's not my job to rub it in. Ask Arizona why they couldn't close out the game. Anyways, I'm good. How are you? Daughter feeling better or feeling worse?
I don't know. I think she's turned the corner or whatever, but sleeping next to a kid with a fever is like sleeping with a red hot coal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yep.
And I think her fever broke at some point in the middle of the night because it was headed in the right direction, but it doesn't make for a pleasant night's sleep, really.
No. A little cast iron red hot pan sitting next to you in bed.
Who's as grumpy as could be.
Yeah. But you're here.
15 minutes before bedtime, talking her into taking medicine.
Huh.
Almost had to force her to do it, which, yes, Christian, who has a kid on the way, is something that you will have to do.
Anything to get this medicine in you.
Oh, when they're a toddler, it's the worst.
Yep.
Our Maggie hated amoxicillin so much, there were pink stains across the wall for a little while.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny.
Is it not like bubblegum flavored anymore?
Oh, it could have been the best tasting thing in the world.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to taste it. It's about more than taste. Let me put it that way.
It's power play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, she didn't want to do anything. We're like, Maggie, you're going to feel better if you take this medicine. I promise. You're going to feel way better. No!
Not a chance. Yeah.
Awful. Anywho. But I was going to have a break from that, but now we got to jump into the doomsday clock. Terrific.
We can talk BYU Arizona. We can talk NBA on NBC tonight. We can talk Diego Pavia's bizarre measurements at the NFL draft, not combine, but
I haven't seen that.
the Senior Bowl.
More tiny hands?
5'9".
Oh, he's very short.
Little guy. He's the guy who was using the F word about the committee after not giving him the Heisman Trophy. It's like, I don't know, man. Mendoza was pretty good this year. You're mad at him?
Well, we know now. It's Napoleon complex.
Yeah, for sure. Now we know what it is.
It's a short guy thing. What do they call it to be nice online? Little King?
Yeah.
Short
King.
Short King.
Short
That's
King.
it.
Diego Pavia, Short King. That's his new name.
I think so. Short King. The Short King. Angry.
Real angry.
Really angry. Yeah. All right. You ever known anybody, honestly, that had the Napoleon complex? I definitely have. And no, it's not Tony Parks.
Yeah, I have. Not Tony either.
Yeah, short, angry, mad at the world. Gonna fight the 6'5" guy at the bar just to prove that he's tough.
I was going to say your 4-year-old has it right now.
At the moment.
Short and angry.
Short queen, yeah. Just mad. Mad all the time. I don't think Coug fans should be too mad this morning. The slow starting thing and closing with a fury is really something. I thought the Texas Tech loss might straighten that out a little bit. Apparently it did not. But, I mean, you got to give the Cougs credit for closing and making a game of it. But Arizona's awesome. They're really good. You know what I like about Arizona? Complete team.
Yeah, absolutely. You watch it and you see, Awaka coming off the bench, and he had just some absolutely dynamite minutes, and he had some issues too, but fouled too much. But
they guard. Everybody can score. They move it. I mean, I really like it.
He was as good or better than Keba Keita last night, and having that player coming off your bench is such an enormous plus. Keba, as much as, there's obviously AJ, and that's the most important piece of BYU right now. Richie Saunders is great, and Robert Wright's great. I've said, and I believe, that Keba Keita is the second most important player on the team because there's just not that many great bigs that do what Keba Keita does in college basketball. And you saw Awaka come in and do exactly the same thing to BYU that BYU has done to other teams that has made them so successful with Keba Keita on their roster. When you have that coming off your bench behind your other stellar front court players, you're in really good shape. And Arizona absolutely deserves the number one overall ranking, at least right now in the country. The collapse was bizarre. Some bad coaching decisions, some bad player decisions, some bizarre refereeing decisions on the foul that I thought was insane. But, you got to like that BYU sticks with it and does have the ability to go on these late flurries of scoring runs that will allow them to get back in any game. It's truly never over.
And I don't think Robert Wright and AJ DiBonta are going to, hone their masonry craft like that.
Like that?
In many games going forward.
9 for 40 for those two. They were not particularly good.
Yeah, and they still only lost by 3. So 16 free throws for AJ DiBonta.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's got to make them. He missed 5. He had some big ones late. Keba Keita also missed a big one late. But
bad games, bad games. You 2 of your 3 best players have a bad game on the same night against the number 1 team in the country. It's going to be tough to get a win. But
as long as it's not correlated to, we had a bad game because we played the best team in the country. It's one thing if, randomly had a bad night, shots weren't falling, that's why we lost. That's one thing. If you're having bad games because you're playing Texas Tech, which, now AJ he's had bad games in 2 of his last 3 outings, and they have come against Texas Tech and they've come against Arizona.
Listen, it's not an and/or thing. Yes, Arizona and their defensive acumen had something to do with those 2 players having a bad game. That's not a bad thing. Arizona's good.
Yeah, they are good.
Texas Tech is really good.
Yeah, and Utah's not. And he put up 43 as soon as Utah was not good.
I mean, so it's you can have an off night and the shots didn't fall, and you can also be playing against a good defense that makes it really difficult.
Yeah, I want
that. Those things can be true at the same time. You got to give Arizona their roses. I mean, that team gets after it.
They do. They're a great defensive team. They forced a ton of turnovers. They were always jumping passing lanes. It seemed like anytime BYU had some momentum, Arizona was able to blow that up. 3 turnovers for AJ DiBonta and Keba Keita and Richie Saunders in that game. So Arizona deserves their credit. AJ does need to be better. AJ's the highest paid player in college basketball right now. BYU needs him to come through, and 24 points is certainly not a bad night, but he's settling for way too many tough shots. He's got to be better than that because his physical tools. We saw that dunk in the second half where you double team him and he pierces through the defense and gets to the rim. I know he can hit those crazy 1 foot mid range jump shots. It's so college Ace Bailey, and he's better than college Ace Bailey.
Well, and
I don't know why he's doing that.
And maybe KY's got to cook up something better.
Yeah, very possible. Well, BYU gets very stagnant. The
They do.
offense is like, my turn, your turn, I couldn't get it, maybe you can get it. And they started ISOing Arizona, and Arizona had to say, game's over. We won this game.
Here's the problem with trying to bring the NBA to college, is that the college is not the NBA.
It's not.
LeBron has literally won titles with the roll it out and ISO offense. I mean, that's what he was doing in Cleveland for at least the most of the second time and all of the first, really, because that's what the NBA was at the time, was ISO my best player on your best player, or get the mismatch or whatever. College is not the pros. I mean, you got to run some stuff. You just have to, because everybody's not that good. You have to run stuff. AJ right now is not an NBA vet. Like, that's not his game. Like, you got to run. I mean, far be it for me, I'm not a coach, but if I were giving KY advice, it'd be like, you got to implement a college something to go to when the chips are down, or when when you can't get a bucket or whatever, and you can run NBA style, whatever that is, but you got to have something to go to, because that stagnation will lose you games.
They did seem, especially in the second half, having a hard time generating good looks, and they shot well from three overall. AJ did not, and Robert Wright did not. They were a combined 2 of 13, but the rest of the team was, 11 of 21. Like, that's on fire. That's a great shooting night. That's over 50% from the floor, including Kennard Davis, who was on fire all night. So, you do have to certainly generate some more of those open looks, which, by the way, Kevin Young has done historically. But even his kind of explanation of what happened on the final play of the game, of why Rob got it and why AJ didn't, was, they just clogged up AJ, and so he couldn't get him the ball, and so Rob just went, 85 feet in ISO, which I actually don't think is a bad play. I get it. Rob is little. That's his problem. It's always going to be his problem. It might be what keeps him out of the NBA if he doesn't make it, because he ISOs and gets to the rim and they block it. That wasn't a particularly difficult play from Arizona. But, there has to be something else to be able to get AJ the ball when they muck it up. When they block him up, he's got to be able to get that inbound pass, because he is the man.
And then as long as we're giving KY advice, because I think the ultimate flaw in this
Call
Cougar,
us, Kev. We got some tips.
I think the ultimate flaw on this Cougar team is depth. And if anything gets them, I think that will be it if we're looking for one particular thing. But how about this? No subbing.
Okay. Well, that's going to be the tournament, yeah.
But, I mean, like, when Richie Saunders fouls out, you go
4
with my team's on the floor.
Okay. Straight Hoosiers.
Okay. And just really, I mean, in practice, lean into conditioning. You know what I mean?
How did Abdullah Ahmed foul out in 5 minutes? 10 minutes. 5 fouls in 10 minutes? Not a particularly effective game from him.
No, I mean, I think you can have an effective game where you foul out.
But he's fouled out in 2 of the last 3 games. And in those games, he's played a total of 26 minutes. Yeah, that's not good enough.
Going to have to work on that.
Yeah, you're going to have to be way, way better than that.
Do you remember Rudy when he first got into the NBA was just a walking foul?
Absolutely.
I mean, fouled every time down the floor.
But Abdullah Ahmed's the guy who came from the G League, right? Like, you've got to be better than that. You played pro basketball already.
That means nothing.
How are you fouling out in 2 of the biggest games BYU's played this year? But you're right, depth is going to be a major issue. They've got to figure out a way to keep those guys on the floor, because A.J. DeBonce is playing 35, Richie Saunders is playing 35, Robert Wright's playing 32, Kennard Davis is playing over 30. I mean, that's the overwhelming. That's 75% of the game, if not 85% of the game from A.J. and Richie Saunders. You're putting a lot of weight on those guys. And you know what? You do see the veteran leadership of Richie when he's out there. Richie had a great night last night. Sans foul trouble, which Arizona's really good. They're going to get guys like Richie Saunders in foul trouble. He was 7 of 11 for 18 points, and when he went off the floor, while that coincided with BYU starting to make their run, I don't think those were related. You certainly would have much rather had Richie out there. So, no, there's some things to figure out, and it is the hard part about dealing with freshmen. And AJ has to get better, is the truth. He's insanely good. Like, he should be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. I fully believe that. He needs to just tighten things up. He just plays really loose sometimes. He wastes movement sometimes, like to put the draft hat on. He just needs to be a little more, a word that I've really liked that Keontae George has used this year, intentional. he's just a little side to side and step here. And because he covers so much ground with his steps, it's amazing. It's almost Giannis Antetokounmpo-esque. He's just, 6'8" instead of 7'1". He just needs to rely on going in a straight line versus side to side so much. And that's what Giannis does well. It's what Magic Johnson did well.
Well, he just started shaving.
Yeah, correct. No, he's not.
Let's give him a minute
to
figure it out.
I've stood next to him. He is thin. He's still and I'm used to seeing NBA bodies, but Koa Pete, who's the freshman for Arizona, is also a freshman, but is built. He has a tree trunk of a body. AJ does not have that yet. AJ is still pretty wiry, and as a result, I think he tries to worm his way over to those mid-range step-back jumpers, which he can hit, but Cody Williams gets pushed off of his spots and did in college. Ace Bailey got pushed off of his spots and did in college and didn't trust his ability to get to the rim. AJ's better at getting to the rim than players like that have similar builds.
Like that?
And needs to take advantage of it. And I get it. You take 16 free throws, you put the other team in foul trouble, you've done your job. It's certainly not AJ's fault alone that BYU didn't win this game. But when you're the man, he's got to be even better. And that's the hard part that BYU has set up their system to be.
It's the problem with the one and done guys. You got expectations through the roof. You have extraordinarily young players that are still growing and maturing and actually learning how to play basketball, believe it or not. You're a noted Coach Cal hater. What was, his one and done Kentucky teams, what were their downfall usually? They were the dumbest teams you've ever seen. They made the dumbest mistakes you've ever seen and weird, stupid stuff missed a zillion free throws because they're not.
Couldn't execute late. Yeah, whatever it was. They would be in big games and
hadn't had the time in the gym to practice their free throws.
Right.
The old take an off season and shoot 1,000 free throws. They didn't have the opportunity to do any of that. So you had these wildly up and down teams because they're just crazy young people who are still growing in all the ways that we're talking about. So it's the downside of it.
Right.
And ultimately, the problem for them is expectations are crazy through the roof. And we always forget that NBA potential and college success are not correlated. The NBA drafting players doesn't correlate with Final Four runs. It can, but it doesn't. And the teams who actually have bought into that too much have sometimes paid the price. Who was that guy from Arizona that went number 2?
Derek Williams,
because he had a hot tournament or whatever.
Yep.
But Chris Paul didn't even get out of the first round.
No, freshmen rarely lead their teams to huge success, is the truth. I mean, even Cooper Flagg, who is in a different caliber of player than everybody we have talked about so far. I mean, Cooper Flagg was a much better college player than A.J. DeBonsa has been. He's a much better player than Karl Anthony Towns was.
Yeah.
Sans Anthony Davis, who, did win the title as the number 1 overall pick and as a true freshman. The complete game and the full basketball understanding that we saw from Cooper Flagg last year was super, super unique. And they fell to a very experienced Houston team. And what really helped? Having a veteran guard. And you know what Arizona had last night? Jaden Bradley. Now, I thought Braden Burries was the best player on the floor, but Jaden Bradley also had 26 points, and he's a senior guard. It's he's been here. Yeah. He's done all this before. And you're right. This is not a knock on AJ at all or Rob Wright. It's a knock on the difficulty of trying to win games this way with freshmen.
No, what is the unique thing about what BYU is trying to do, truly? And the exciting part about it is you mix the get old, stay old BYU basketball program of old with these super disciplined, overachieved type guys like Richie Saunders.
Yeah.
And you mailed them with the ability to land some one-and-done guys, and what can that do? So you're not leaning all the way into one-and-done like Coach Cal did at Kentucky. You have the bones of the program that made BYU a really good basketball program, and then you throw on top the ability to get some top-end talent and what spits out the other side. They've got to find the balance. They've got to find...
Well, and you're right about is they have 5 really good players at the top that has that balance. And after that, it totally falls off.
Depth is truly the problem.
I know he started, but Jackson Emery, they need Jackson Emery coming off the bench. You need the experienced 6-man who can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, or Jimmer spent his first 2 years at BYU coming off the bench, backing up Austin Ainge if memory serves.
Yeah, they need that one more piece, and I'm not sure they have it as a 6-man this year.
Wait, I'm trying to think. Is that true? I'd have to go back and look. I think that's right.
You might be right.
Because I do remember the Gall. Like, we're bringing you off the bench for a couple of years here, Jimmer. What do you need? Okay. It is a Jazz Ticket Tuesday, which is great news. That means somebody's going to win right now. Go ahead, Christian.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the three. He hits. Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. You're getting a pair of tickets to go see the Jazz and the Nets coming up Friday at Delta Center. Tip-off for that game is at 7:30. It wasn't Austin. Austin was earlier.
Coming off the bench was both Jimmer Fredette and Jonathan Tavernari. No, Jonathan Tavernari started 29 games that year. The starters were Lee Camard, Trent Plaisted, Sam Burgess, Ben Murdoch, and Tavernari. It was a good team.
Ben Murdoch.
Yeah.
We know Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. We've got top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Coming up next is Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake, Scott, Ben Anderson. Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. It's brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, Ace Bailey was snubbed from the Rising Stars game, or whatever they call it these days.
It is the Rising Stars game. They select 21 rookies and sophomores to compete in the Rising Stars Challenge. And I thought Ace would be nearly a given to make it to this team, and he did not get picked up. He was one of the only players selected in the top 9 who did not get picked to play in this Rising Stars Challenge coming up the Friday of All-Star Weekend. Cooper Flagg made it, Dylan Harper made it, VJ Edgecombe made it, Con Knipple made it, Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fears, Yegor Demon, Colin Murray-Boyles.
Okay, let me figure out how to I think that Ace deserved to make it. I guess I'll start there. But he should be absolutely thanking them. Absolutely. I could waste my time playing in some stupid thing nobody's going to watch, or I could be on the beach in Cancun. Let me think. Which would I rather do? Waste my time for something people are going to forget about in 5 minutes, or spend a little QT with the ones I love in a place that is not winter?
I hope for his sake he does that. Now, it is in Los Angeles this year, so it'll be a little bit warmer. I hope for Ace's sake he goes to Tahiti or whatever and disappears.
It's better.
And has 10 days. I'm totally with you. It is also worth noting that, Dylan Harper is one of his best friends. All of these guys who I'm sure he's played in AAU with are his best friends, and they're going to go reconnect, and they have money, well, not for the first time now because of college, but they can go and hang out in LA where all the rest of the NBA world is and, get to be a part of it. And he doesn't get to be a part of it. So in that sense, I'm sure it's bizarre to look around and be like, what did I do wrong? He's top 8 in scoring. He's top 8 in minutes played, which minutes played doesn't really matter. But it's not like he's missed 50 games and that's why he's not out there.
The answer is nothing. The answer is
I'm totally with you.
Nothing. In fact, who is picking this? I don't even know.
I don't know. I had the same thought. I know who selects who drafts the teams. It's Carmelo Anthony and Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter, I think, drafted the teams to set out 3 different rookie-sophomore teams that play against each other plus a G League roster. But yeah, I don't actually know how the rosters get selected. It's not voted on by the media or the players, I don't think.
Google AI says that it's NBA assistant coaches.
Okay.
That select the 21 first and second year players.
So if I am Ace Bailey, I don't give 2 rips what Vince LaGarza thinks about my season right now. I don't care. I'm going somewhere nice.
Van Gundy?
And
I don't care about your vote.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Ace Bailey is coming along extremely well.
He is.
He hasn't been really given anything. He's really jumped in and earned it. I thought it was interesting. Will Hardy brought it up, I don't know, Ben, a couple of games ago. I think it was in the pregame where he talked about Ace's conditioning and that getting sick at the beginning and then getting hurt right after that really did not do him any favors.
Yep.
And he's really rounding into shape. We see plays that are eye-opening literally every single game. He's rattling off a couple of 20-point games, although you did jinx the crap out of him.
Yes, I did.
What was that?
Last game? Yeah.
It had to be 3 minutes into the game, and Ben said...
I think he had 8 points.
Ben said he's obviously going to get to 20.
I said he's trending. I think he said he's clearly trending towards, hell yeah, Kristen Peek's in here.
Wow.
All right.
Good to see
What
Kristen.
a legend.
Dang legend.
Yeah. Oh, she must have been at the BYU game yesterday, if I know. Were you at the BYU game yesterday? Yeah. Kristen rules. Love seeing Kristen. Yes, I did. I said he's clearly trending towards.
Yeah, you did. It was like 2 minutes into the game.
He had 8 points in 2 minutes, I think. And I think he got to 12. He shut it down.
The game started at, like 7:38. Ben sent out that tweet at like 7:42.
Yeah.
It's like obviously getting to
Here
20
it comes.
tonight. Guess what he
Bet
got
on
to?
it.
Guess
Put the
what he got
house
to?
on it.
12.
Yeah. Went cold. Anyways.
Well, and went on a foul spree that limited his opportunity.
Well, actually, here's the thing that's weird about it for the NBA for me. Don't you want to highlight Ace? Ace is one of the players you're going to want to highlight. He is a highlight reel.
Dude, who knows if agents are bribing
Dunker.
these guys? This
Yeah,
is
sure.
why it's so dumb, and he should waste exactly 0 time thinking about it. I know PK is like, he should come out and have a Karl Malone game. Yeah. I hope not. I hope he does not care at all because that's how much it matters. Zilch. The Jazz have had some random crappy rookies make that game.
Oh, I mean,
guess what it did for them? Nothing.
And we should note, no Jazz player made it. Actually, I think Sean East from the G League, from the Stars, made it. But Isaiah Collier could have easily been on the second-year list as well. Isaiah's been good in the second year and didn't make the list, so no Jazz representation. Yeah, I'm with you. If it were me, go on vacation, disappear, check out, forget about the NBA for a week, come back and get back into it. I suspect he'll be in Los Angeles regardless.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, tune in to Channel 5, guys. We've got the Jazz on NBC tonight.
Jeremiah Jensen's hosting a 1-hour pregame show, getting you ready for the Jazz.
Really? Jeremiah's in the room over there, too.
I might be making an appearance. We'll see if JJ will let me come on. But I'm going to try and
sneak on.
You on
television?
I'm going to try and sneak on to make it. But no, very cool. NBA on NBC tonight. So we'll get to carry the second game. We're not carrying the first game, which generally, this is a doubleheader, but we will be carrying the second game plus the 1-hour pregame show. But
do we know if Kawhi's playing?
I have not seen. I know who's not playing for the Utah Jazz.
No Keontae.
We are seeing Keontae officially hitting the rest stretch of the final, 35 games or whatever it is of the NBA season. Keontae's out. Yusuf Nurkic is doubtful. Lauri Markkanen is questionable with the reconditioning. Kevin Love, though, good news, probable.
Okay, well, that might make the difference.
We have told you that I think the Jazz are going to start resting Keontae George here coming up for this final stretch. Not entirely, but to make sure that they're not winning too many games. This is a clear sign that they're not interested in beating the Clippers like they did the first game of the season.
Next.
And number 3, in case you missed it, the Cougs lose a close one to Arizona last night.
But you know what? It did. I bet you that game got a ton of eyeballs. It was a very fun game to watch. Went down to the wire. I know it wasn't close midway through the second half, but BYU did make the comeback. And one of the reasons BYU is spending the money on this roster, or the boosters are spending the money on this roster, is to draw attention to the program, because attention is good for your program, and it will allow it to stay successful for a long time. That is definitely working.
I'll only add that I started with the station in 2003. Both BYU and Utah were in the Mountain West Conference. And listen, the Mountain West Conference was a good basketball league. Mm-hmm. Like at that time and going into the aughts was a really good basketball league with good teams, and it set up, really good matchups. You can say the same about football, although I think less so, right? Part of what was going to be cool about Utah joining the Pac-12 and then eventually both teams being in the Big 12. And it was like a layup sports radio topic, right? Like, won't it be awesome when Texas is in Provo at the same time Oklahoma's in whatever it is. How cool is it that the number one team in the country, Arizona, a blue blood college basketball program, played a thriller of a game in Provo that had conference ramifications? I mean, that is amazing. It was the fantasy in 2005. You're going to see these incredible teams coming and playing home games in Provo or Salt Lake City or whatever, because you can't get. I mean, I know Tim Duncan played in Salt Lake once, right? And Utah played the number 1 Alabama team in Salt Lake. But in college basketball, it's impossible to get these programs to play home games in your stadium.
Out of conference.
Yeah. Almost impossible.
Yep. And then to have the number 1 or number 2 overall pick on the roster already too for BYU. Yeah, this is what is cool.
This is
the golden years. This is
right.
This is what you've been waiting for.
And so I just thought I'd take a moment to appreciate it, because that was so common. It was almost a trope on sports radio. Like, can you imagine?
And credit the crowd at BYU. I mean, you look behind it, and there's signs, and there's the spinning thing, and there's the giant cougar stand. It's like they really show up.
Did they throw garbage at the refs?
I hope so. No, they should have done. They should have been sending them flowers for those late foul calls.
I'm just seeing. Yeah, I guess it was circumstance were a little different. All right, stay tuned. More Jake and Ben coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, we're teaming up with Beehive Meals. We're honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contest. And listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week.
Cool to see Kristen Peak come in.
Yeah, it was. Good to see her in person.
She'll be on with Jeremiah Jensen tonight for the NBA on NBC pregame show as the Jazz take on the Clippers. Just a quick tip of the cap to Kristen, who she lives in Vegas now. She used to live up here. Just like is in high school gyms watching these high school prospects. So by the time they become A.J. DeBonsa, Ace Bailey, even Victor Wembanyama, she'd gone over and seen him. Like, she knows these guys from the time they're 16, 17 years old. She really grinds. She puts in the work. So she's done a great job. We've loved having her on. Random story. She was sitting in front of me at a Jazz game watching a Tennessee basketball game. And I was like, who is this psycho woman sitting in front of me at a Jazz game watching Tennessee basketball? Like, truly, like, grinding tape. And I stopped her and I was like, what are you doing? Who are you? And she's like, oh, yeah, I do draft stuff for Yahoo Sports and I live up here. And it's like, she's really made it. So good for her. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just riding her coattails.
Quit talking about it, or she's going to stop coming on the show because she's going to be like
I'm too big for this.
Nationally famous. Yeah. So
well, she does a bunch of NBA games.
Stop it.
She does a bunch of like their NBA.com. They'll stream big AAU games or international games, and she does all the work on those as well. She's a color analyst. So, anyways, cool to have her stop in the studio, and she'll be on tonight for NBA on NBC.
Wow, I'm just now seeing the video of Sean Dursey. Yelling.
Yeah, I couldn't quite make out what he was yelling.
Any professional readers want to help us out?
Yeah. It's nice of him to say it really open mouth and really slowly.
Oh, man. Yeah, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room for interpretation there, no?
Tough loss for the boys last night, Mammoth. They were down 1-0. I mean, they ended up losing 2-0 empty netter to get it. No, was it empty netter to get the second goal? No, it was a late penalty kill, I believe. But Good push. Good put. That was a tough game. They just could not find the back of the net.
I think Dursey's saying, "Excuse me, but I don't like how you're playing right now.
I didn't like that you checked me into the glass that way.
Wasn't thrilled. About that. How that all worked out.
Yeah, he was not. And he yells across the penalty box, which I do love. I didn't realize that was the thing. Guys talking trash throughout the entire penalty. Hey you, you're not a nice person. If I were to.
Radio friendly.
If I were to say radio friendly, KSL approved.
Hey, friend.
It's definitely an F word, isn't it?
It's the same thing that the guy said to Jake. Good morning. And
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And one of those. Yeah.
Hey, friend.
Pardon me.
You're a bad guy.
Sir? Mr. Carlisle, sir? Didn't appreciate that.
Like that, Dursey.
Anyway, so
like that?
Check that out. Mammoth back-to-back, right?
Back at it tonight.
With the Panthers?
Tough back-to-back.
Yeah, this was going to be a hard stretch.
Yeah.
But the most important game was the win over Nashville.
Getting Nashville, because hurting them, not allowing Nashville to get points and getting your own 2 was big.
So the rest of it's kind of...
Keep your head above water. Beat the Canes. No, I mean, win tonight, but definitely beat the Hurricanes the last game of the stop and get back home.
They're going to love Raleigh, home of Chip Patterson.
Not right now. All storm right now.
I'm glad Christian laughed at that joke. That's good.
It's the only person who's ever laughed at your joke.
Eric.
Trio of people.
Eric Pincus, speaking of people that don't like my jokes, he's going to join us coming up next. So
Talking the NBA.
We're excited about that. We'll talk to him about what to expect. What do you put your odds on Giannis moving?
0.
You think? I know Milwaukee's desperate to keep him, but
I think they're going to move him. I just think they're going to wait to move him in the offseason. So if I thought you meant before the trade deadline.
No, I did.
Zero before the trade deadline.
But what if he wants it?
He's hurt right now. I just say, Giannis, we're not going to get you anywhere you want to be. Let's find the right spot for you. We'll open up all 29 teams in the offseason. We'll make an offer for you, and we'll tell you we're going to let you help decide where you want to go.
But not actually mean it?
I wouldn't.
Well, then why say it?
I don't know. Why did the Jazz say it to Donovan Mitchell? And then they sent him to Cleveland. I don't know if the Jazz actually did say it to Donovan Mitchell, but they sent him to Cleveland instead of New York.
I never understood that narrative ever.
Yeah, let me pick your landing spot.
Did they really let Donovan Mitchell?
I don't think they did.
I don't think
they did. No.
But everybody just assumed they did.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, he's going to New York.
Well,
that's where he wants to go.
They didn't send him to the worst possible team.
That's what I said to do, is send him to the Wizards. Who cares what the package
right.
is? Send him to purgatory.
Yeah, right. Say, you want out?
Yeah, fine.
Here's what out looks like.
Guess what? Your next stop, our nation's capital.
But Cleveland is certainly not – it's not worked out. Cleveland's fine. They've had some good seasons, but it's not been living the high life off the floor and winning on it. That was the nice thing about New York, is even if you don't win, you're back home. You're the biggest star in town. Cleveland, nobody cares.
No.
At all. You don't move the needle unless you're LeBron. So.
I don't know. What is Cleveland? Brownstown.
Yeah, I'm sure Joe Burrow is huge there.
Yeah, it's an Ohio State town.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Burrow that doesn't fall into that. A Cincinnati town? Why would it be a Burrow?
No, you're right. You're right.
What are you talking about?
No, you're right. No, it's a Browns town.
They would have been a Burrow his freshman year.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pretty sure they hate the Bengals.
Yeah, they hate the Bengals. No, yeah, they're a Browns town. They're probably a big Shador. Shador honestly might be a bigger star than Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland.
Pro Bowler.
God, you just can't wait to get to that news. Christian sent us a text yesterday while we were on remote, like, unbelievable news, guys!
He's made it.
Get into the air immediately. The biggest news in sports right now.
Jump on.
Shador Sanders.
I'm buying a jersey.
Has made the Pro Bowl.
A Pro Bowl jersey?
And Ben and I both told him in the break, everybody makes the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Not Bo Nix.
Well, Throw Picks has his foot detached.
So we'll see what happens with Giannis. We'll talk to Eric about
Tyler
it.
Huntley started 2 games. Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowler.
No offense to Tyler, but that is...
Pro Bowl doesn't mean anything.
It does not.
It means less than the Rising Stars Challenge.
In fact, I don't have time right now. I should look up Shador's season stats. Because if that's what's making the Pro Bowl these days.
Truly.
I mean, he just didn't have the opportunity. I mean, it's not like he played that badly. It's just, but he had to throw, 7 touchdowns? That's making the Pro Bowl?
Exactly right. 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
That's what's making the Pro Bowl?
Pro Bowler.
Bam! Killing it.
Yeah, you just have to be in the NFL to make the Pro Bowl. That's it.
That is it. Caleb Lohner is probably going to the Pro Bowl, if I had to make a guess. How many total plays did he make this year, Christian?
He was only activated for the 1 game, and I don't think he did it.
Get him on the Pro Bowl. Get him. He's suited up, right? It counts. All right, Eric Pincus joins us coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson
1, 2, 3, move it.
on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about Win Ticket Wednesday, your chance to win every week. This week, tomorrow, you can win tickets to go see the Pro Bull Riders Unleash the Beast tour stop at Delta Center on February 6th. Get your tickets at SeatGeek.com or listen all day tomorrow for your chance to win. Let's talk some NBA basketball. The Jazz are back at it tonight against the Clippers on an NBC game. So national TV, first time this year?
First time. First time in years, it feels like.
Yeah, it does. Joining us now, he covers the NBA for Bleacher Report. He's our friend Eric Pincus. What's going on, Eric?
I'm happy to be here. Let's talk some Utah Jazz. Looking forward to it. How are you guys doing?
I'm not sure anyone wants to talk Jazz basketball nationwide. We will get to the Jazz. I am curious, Eric. We're midway, a little past the midway point of the season. Do you feel like there's been like a singular storyline? What's the overriding narrative of this year in the NBA? Because, you know, we cover it so closely. And I'm thinking big picture, there's a lot of little things that jump out to me. I'm wondering if there's one of which the entire league revolves around.
That's a good question. I mean, the start of the season, the first part was, you know, would the Thunder challenge the Warriors for the all-time record? So that was sort of, they lost like one game for months, it seemed like. Maybe the onslaught that is the San Antonio Spurs and what Victor Wembanyama and that team's going to be, how good the Pistons are in the East, and maybe how good the Celtics are, despite Jason Tatum. But I'm not sure if it's a good question. What's like the running thread? You know, we've had some rough situations with Terry Rozier, some gambling situations, the Kawhi Leonard investigation that's still ongoing with Aspiration with the Clippers. So, you know, behind the scenes, there's maybe some concern over the state of the league as a whole with some of these things that are, you know, uncomfortable to talk about as far as the NBA is concerned. But yeah, I think those are the overarching stories. We're heading to the trade deadline. So I don't think we'll have like a Luka to the Lakers storyline like we did last year, which was, you know, clearly the big one.
How many teams could possibly challenge OKC in the West, if any?
Well, I mean, the Spurs are a really good matchup. They have really, you know, relentless attacking guards. And then you've got Victor Wembanyama, who's, you know, ridiculous. And then, you know, they're just well built. They've got a lot of, you know, youth athleticism. They're just improving. I don't know if they're ready. You know, the usual progression of a team is you go from lottery to playoffs to an early exit in the playoffs to maybe making a leap. And, you know, I don't know if they're going to be able to cut some steps. Feels like the Thunder cut a little bit, like they won maybe a year earlier than the normal progression. So maybe the Spurs will match them and be a real threat. You know, we're waiting for Jokic to get back healthy. The Rockets are there. They're talented. They can play defense. They can score. So I don't want to, you know, discount them. The Wolves seem to, you know, show up sometimes really well and sometimes not. Don't trust the Lakers defense. And unfortunately the Warriors aren't healthy. You know, out East, you know, I'm very curious. I don't really know. I mean, the Knicks may be the best team suited for the playoffs, but they have not been great for a period of time. So, you know, I'm curious to see what Detroit is and what Boston is come playoffs.
I never bought, Eric, some of the messaging of, oh, maybe Fred VanVleet getting hurt is a blessing in disguise for the Houston Rockets. It's like, it's not like he's coming back midway through the year. His season's over, and they don't have a point guard. But I do think that maybe Jokic getting hurt is a blessing in disguise for the Nuggets. They've been so bad over the last few years with him off the court, and, you know, his plus-minus and his on-off is so drastic. But they've been really good with him off the floor these last 15 games or so. This seems like the type of thing where they're building some momentum and learning how to win without him. So when he comes back, assuming Aaron Gordon's healthy and Christian Brown's healthy and they get this full roster, they look really dangerous to me.
Yeah. It's a, what is it, like an oxymoron? Like Jokic makes everyone better, no question. Like the best passing center maybe we've ever seen. He makes that team a contender. However, and it's a big however, is that, you know, he is in the way of others developing into what they're going to be because that team is heliocentric around Jokic. So maybe Peyton Watson or some of these young guys are just not going to get the same opportunity. That's it's not a negative. It's not a slight on Jokic. It's what happens when you have a win now team. The win now players play and the young players don't develop. And that's usually how teams get old overnight, it seems, where, you know, the win now players start to age out and the young guys haven't come along enough because they haven't gotten the chance. So, you know, obviously if you're the Nuggets, you want Jokic to be healthy. You want to be at the top of the conference. You want to have home court advantage, but they're third in the West, tied with the Spurs. You know, as we said, the Thunder got off to such a hot start too, is about as high as they ever were going to get. And they're in that range. So it's, you know, you want Jokic back. I mean, I'm not rooting for a player or a team, but just for having the best players in the world on the court, you want him back. You want to see the Nuggets at full strength, and now their version of full strength might be something different altogether. Now that these young guys have had a chance to really embrace just the minutes without worrying about failing or being yanked because they're not helping win right now. They had no choice. They barely had 8 players some nights to even go, and yet they'd somehow find ways to win. So great coaching and great player development, finally getting a chance to show their stuff.
Ben and I do one of those cliche radio segments before the season where we make our predictions. And the East being so wide open, I guess, for lack of a better term, I made the mistake of picking the Cleveland Cavaliers, which, they're sitting at 28 and 25th in the East. Why are we talking about them atop the East? Why is Cleveland not better, I guess?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, there are a lot of, terms that people are afraid of. One of them is the second apron, and it's this boogeyman of penalties and whatnot. And the only team right now that's above the second apron, this line in the sand, is the Cavaliers. And so they're paying as a front office for a win now team. They're looking at their team and saying, we have everything we need to win right now. Last year we were the best team in the East, got knocked out in the second round, but we'll be better with continuity. Unfortunately, they're not. They look like a very solid B. You know what I mean? And when you're paying top dollar for a solid B, that's not great. And so some of it is injuries. I know Garland missed a lot of the season. They've had guys in and out for quite a bit. But I don't know. Max Strus, he's not healthy. They did trade away a couple of guys who helped them last year. Isaac Okoro, and who else? They lost Ty Jerome, who's been hurt all year anyway. So even if they had kept him, he probably, assuming the same injury, he wouldn't have even played. So it's a tough one. I think that teams aren't going to stay at these high levels for long. So they need to really soul search and decide, do they start backpedaling at the trade deadline, which is in less than a couple weeks, February 5th. Do you get out of a Garland or a Jared Allen or a DeAndre Hunter? The team is interesting. They have 2 guards who are, Donovan Mitchell's a big 6'3", he's not like he's not like 150, 160 pounds at 6'3", but they don't have a lot of height in the backcourt. And the idea is that their front court of Allen and Mobley can offset that lack of size in the back. But I don't know if the combination works. I think Mobley probably needs to be the 5 full time. You probably want Donovan Mitchell as your lead guard with like a defensive-minded 2. Well, basically combo guard. Gosh, if we can go back like an Eric Snow, if you remember,
right,
Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Right? Allen Iverson was like 165 maybe pounds.
Generously, yeah.
Yeah, and they had Eric Snow, who was a combo guard who played defense and could score a little bit, super tough. Aaron McKee, like guys who can complement and let Donovan Mitchell go out there and do what Luka's doing, do what other guys are doing, score a zillion points a game, and maybe find a different combination. And I think they need to do so by reducing the payroll. So, but I don't know that they'll pull that plug in the next couple of weeks, but I feel like it's inevitable that they're going to do it over the summer if they don't, because you just can't stay at this high level. It freezes up your draft picks down the road. It limits your flexibility. They're basically the same team next year if they don't start to unwind this a little bit. So I just think it's the combination. It is one of the perplexing questions of this season for sure. The Cavaliers' lack of success.
You said an interesting term there, pull the plug. At the trade deadline, because it's a bit of a zero-sum game, if a good player leaves one team that pulls the plug, he goes to another team, which means they're plugging it in. Do you think we see more sellers or more buyers? I mean, more teams pulling the plug or more teams trying to go for it at the trade deadline? Because it seems quiet 8-9 days out now.
Yeah, I have very mixed messaging, mixed feelings, because it really depends on like who I talk to. I spoke to somebody with the team the other day who thinks there's going to be a ton of action. I'm a little more conservative in what at least what I've heard to this point. The challenge in the West is that the teams that would be buyers at the top need to feel like there's a reason to challenge OKC, to challenge the top teams, the Spurs, the Nuggets. Are there any teams that can make that leap? And in the East, there is that opportunity because the Pistons are unproven. They are very good. and they probably don't agree with me, but in terms of like, they don't have a resume yet with this group of going to the conference finals and winning a title. New York has a conference finals. Celtics without Jason Tatum, who knows, obviously had championship pedigree, but they lost a lot of their main pieces that did that. I left out the Raptors, who are among the top 4 teams. They're a really good defensive team. The point is that it's pretty wide open in the East, so there could be teams that are jumping that would make them buyers. There are definitely sellers. I think that talking to people around the league, 2026 in June is a very, very strong draft, and 2027 is more of a mystery box where it doesn't. Teams aren't projecting that's the year to go chase the lottery and whatnot. So I think there are more teams that want to sell. I could see, for instance, not saying this happens in aggregators, plug your ears, but like Jaren Jackson Jr. with Memphis, do the Grizzlies want to pay that large contract, or do they want to get maybe some draft comp, maybe as early as in June, to go and hit the draft a bunch of times, get 2, 3, 4 picks, including their own out of moving Jaren Jackson. And so obviously John Morant is available, according to many folk, although I don't know if there's a market for it, but I do think there are sellers. I do think there are buyers. There's the big, what the elephant in the room, so to speak, is Giannis Antetokounmpo, whether or not the Bucks will eventually move him now. He's hurt. Does that change the equation? And I think there are a lot of teams that maybe would be buyers, but just the prospect that if they wait until July, they might be able to get Giannis then. And so maybe they don't buy now because they wait till then. I mean, there's a long list of teams that we can go into, and I think every team has a buying point or a selling point, where like they could go either way. Not every team, obviously, like the Thunder aren't selling at any point, but a lot of teams, I think, in the right move, in the right situation, would love to make a leap, or maybe make a plummet towards the lottery, the opposite of a leap. So, buy, sell. So, very excited to see. This is always one of my, among the best times of the year, is leading up to the trade deadline. Whatever the result, it's always a lot of fun to try to make sense of it.
The big story around here today, Eric, people are bent out of shape about Ace Bailey not making the Rising Stars Challenge, even though I think that is basically meaningless and he should enjoy his vacation. But I'm curious if you have any thoughts on Ace and the season he's having so far, or his potential, or really wherever you want to go with that.
Well, I mean, Ace is, he's a grown man. He's 19. He's an adult, but he is, in NBA terms, he's a baby. And when you're a baby at 19 and you come in and average double digits and you show flashes of what he's shown, if you're the Jazz, you should be happy with what you're seeing. If you're a fan of the Jazz, you should be happy. And this is by no means a finished product as an NBA player or even as an adult. He's got a lot of growing up to do, and that's not slighting him. That's just the number of how many years of life he's had. So I think that the Jazz have, at least, from when I talk to folks around the league, they have a relatively positive environment for development. They have a good coach, they have a good staff, and they put a lot into their players, and their players can grow here. And so, not every player sticks around. Eventually, some players get traded, and that's just the nature of the league. But I think he's in a good place. I know there was a lot of consternation around the draft or whether or not he wanted to be here or not. But with Keontae George and Collier and some of the young guys, Filipowski's making, and Sensabaugh, and guys who are starting to show what they can be, and hopefully with the Walker Kessler healthy next year, and assuming they don't make any drastic changes, you can start to see like there's something brewing here. And I think Ace has a real shot to be a part of that. And yeah, I would like to see him in the Rising Stars game. He should be there. He's not. It's not necessarily the big. This doesn't define his career in the least. It'll be a memory, and if he gets a few days off, that's not a bad thing either. But yeah, no, it's exciting to see young guys try to figure it out, and it's natural to be frustrated when they don't. Those moments when they're not doing what you want them to do. You can't become a great player without that. You can't. I mean, Utah. I live in LA, so the Kobe air balls against Utah is infamous in his development. Not to say that Ace is going to turn into Kobe, but I use that when I talk to young players and my kids when they were playing, is that like you have to go through that kind of, and I don't like to use the word failure, but you have to go through those moments of not succeeding to become what you're going to be. And so I think, you're going to get a mixed bag with Ace, but he's still averaging double-digit points as as I said, like an NBA baby. And I think he's in a good place to develop.
What's the perspective on Keyonte George? Locally, we see him, and the change from what we saw his first 2 years. I mean, it's night and day. He's a totally different player. His attention is totally different. His intention is totally different. How's he viewed nationally? Because he's had some huge performances, but I'm guessing people aren't tracking his performances night to night.
Well, I mean, I live in circles of people who work for NBA teams who pay attention to what's going on instead of maybe. If the national audience isn't paying attention, that's their loss. That's just the reality, because he's a problem. I mean, he's gained confidence, which you want to see second, third year guys step into, what they're going to be. And he's also, 22, he's starting to become really what he will be as like an NBA adult. That's around when it starts. So he's showing everything that you want to see. He's shooting the three, well enough on a pretty high volume. He's not like a 40 or he's not like a Steph, but he's shooting well, and he's 24 points a game. I mean, come on, that's like finding 20-point scorers in this game. And I know that scoring is inflated the last few years, and so we have more 20-point scorers, but he's incredible. I mean, he's averaging great assists. He's unselfish. There'll be some turnovers with a young guy, also on a team that's not really finished in terms of, this is not the Jazz as they will be when they make a run for the playoffs. They will evolve. And so when you're a point guard on a team that's not great, there's going to be more turnovers. Some of them are going to be on Keyonte developing. Some of that's going to be on just, the team not quite being there. But he's an end game player who likes to take big shots, and that's going to come with misses and clutch moments where he's not clutch. But that's the best players of all time have those, right? You remember the clutch ones, but you forget, oh yeah, they missed like just as many as they had made. So he's the guy that they go to in Utah to take a lot of those shots. And so that just takes, certain amount of makeup to be able to step into those moments, live with the ones that don't drop. He's fun. I think, people look at him as a building block for this Utah team. And so, building blocks are hard to find, I mean, especially where you drafted him. I forget the number, but he was not top 10, right?
Yeah, 15, 16, somewhere in that range. Yep.
Yeah. So he was outside the lottery, no less. So it's kind of like Tyrese Maxey, who was 21 or so. When you can find these guys in the lottery or outside the lottery, like end of lottery, just outside of it, 15 to 20, that's money in the bank. And then, as I said, Utah is known for, or at least has the reputation for putting in the time into their young guys and, letting them flourish. So obviously I don't think the fans are in love with the record over the last year or so. But I don't know that a player like Keyonte can develop similar to what we talked about with Denver, where they're expecting wins right now and not letting him, I don't want to say fail, but let him make those mistakes, let him develop, because that's just the process of how an NBA player becomes great, is by not being great for a period of time until, it all starts to click.
Eric, we appreciate you and your valuable time. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. That is Eric Pincus, covers the NBA for Bleacher Report.
Yeah, I'm curious. You tend to overvalue the players that you get to see every day, and that happens in every market, and they tend to get a little bit undervalued nationwide. So I am curious to see how people are coming along on Keyonte George. I like the term Eric used. I'm going to steal it. Keyonte George is becoming a problem. I mean, that is a guy you have to account for when you're coming into Utah or the Jazz are coming to play your team. He has a problem. He is one of the guys you have to think about. And I think the nice thing about Keyonte his first 2 years, if you were an opposing team, is that was the solution. Keyonte was going to hurt the Jazz as much as he was going to help them. And now it's the total opposite.
I know Eric basically agreed with us that Ace Bailey shouldn't worry about this Rising Stars thing and that it is basically meaningless. But I think I'm changing my opinion on it.
Okay.
I think Ace should start burning down assistant coaches' houses.
Okay.
Like find Vince's house down in Phoenix and just raise it to the ground.
Yeah, is that where Lagarza is? Where's Lagarza?
Yeah, he's
in Phoenix.
I don't know why he's the particular assistant coach I'm picking on today, but
sure.
I'm sure any of the rest of the old Jazz assistants are all on the Hawks. You could start there.
Ekpe. Yeah, is he? Udo? Udo. Yeah, I think he's still an assistant, right?
Yeah, all those guys over there in Atlanta are all former Jazz gangs. Where's oh man, what was his name? I'm trying to remember. The Quinn's
he's in Indiana.
What's his name? Why am I forgetting?
Because he went to Dallas and then he followed Rick Carlisle up to Indiana. If I remember correctly. Quinn's driver.
Yeah. The guy who got his start as Quinn's driver.
Not Sean, that's Will's assistant. What? I can't
Give me a second. Filibuster, Ben. I'll find it.
Yeah, not picking Ace Bailey is bizarre especially because if you've watched the Jazz, I think if it's the assistant coaches voting on it, these are people who know. And they know Ace Bailey is a good player. I think everybody has been surprised by how holistic Ace Bailey's game has been impactful. Holistically, it's been impactful, as opposed to just being a guy who comes out and scores. And we played a clip, I think it was in one of our Jazz updates yesterday, about Will Hardy being like, it's my fault that Ace is not just going out there and bombing away. We could let Ace take 20 shots a night, and I'm not letting him do it. And it would be fun to let him do it, but it's not where they've put him. And had they, he would have easily been averaging 15, 18 points a game already. I mean, I think he's that gifted of a scorer, but they've tried to work on developing some other spots of his game, and maybe as a result, he's not getting the recognition nationally as one of the better rookies in the NBA.
Okay, so he's not coaching for the Pacers.
Oh, he's not anymore?
You were wrong. Zach Guthrie is his name.
Zach Guthrie.
He is the head coach.
Oh, that's right. Of
the South Bay Lakers. Yeah, he's Bronny's coach.
Yeah, he's Bronny's coach.
That.
I remember that.
He's Bronny's guy.
That's right. I forgot he got named. He was with the... Oh, this doesn't say he was ever even with the...
So it's actually not
Pacers.
Zach Guthrie's fault that Ace Bailey did not get selected.
I thought he followed Rick to Indy. How did I miss that? Anyways, yeah, Zach Guthrie. Zach Guthrie, if you don't remember, was the guy who looked like he was about 18 years old his whole life. But yeah, met Quinn when Quinn was coaching for the Austin Toros and cruised around with him.
Actually, it's a great story. I mean, to
cool.
get your foot in the door, you do what you got to do. Let me see here. How many former Jazz coaches are on the Hawks? Where is their coaching staff? Oh, well, no, this doesn't matter. Oh, here we go. You mentioned Udo, Igor Kokoshkov, Andrew Lane, Brian Bailey, Jeff Watkinson.
Sanjay still there? Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm Ace, I'm going to find all those guys.
Going to Atlanta. He knows Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Right? Spent some time there growing
I'll tell you
up.
where I'm going on my All-Star break in Atlanta.
Going home.
You better believe it.
Just so happens there was a string of fires.
All right, we've got Cole Bagley coming up next. Let's give away some Jazz tickets, though. Christian, hit it.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the three. Hey, hands! Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'd mail Vince Lagarza a box full of bees. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. You're going to win a pair of tickets to go see the Jazz and the Nets on Friday at Delta Center. Tip-off will be at 7:30. Or like locusts or something.
If you ever decide you want to try something else, another venture in your life, box of bees.
Do you remember our guy, you and I knew a guy that had bees mailed to him? And have you heard this story?
I don't know the story at all.
He wanted to be honey guy.
Okay.
And so they gassed the bees to put them asleep when they mail them.
Yeah.
And apparently the gas wore off before the box was delivered.
This is our bad luck friend.
Yeah, so he got a really angry phone call from the U.S. Postal Service. Come get your stupid bees.
They're awake and they're angry.
Cole Bagley is next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to talk hockey with the Utah Mammoth and NHL Insider on KSLSports.com. Cole Bagley on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Time to talk a little Mammoth hockey. Our next guest's appearance is brought to you by our friends at Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. He covers the Mammoth for KSLSports.com. He is Cole Bagley with us here on Jake and Ben. How are you, Cole?
Good. How are you guys?
Cole, 2-0 loss last night. I didn't think the Mammoth played poorly, though. I thought if you're going to lose a game, that's not the worst way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other hottest team in the National Hockey League that had the exact same record through January that they did. And, they went toe-to-toe to them with, through the majority of that game for about 52 minutes. But the issue they ran into was, taking too many penalties, They gave the Lightning 4 power plays, and in this calendar year, the Lightning are hitting on about 35% of their power play opportunities, and both goals came off the power play for Tampa Bay, and that was the difference in the game. So, yeah, they played well for the majority of it. They went, head-to-head with not only the other hottest team in the NHL, but the best team in the Eastern Conference this season, and, you really can't be too upset about that.
What has been the difference for the Mammoth? You mentioned being one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the NHL. What, if you had to pick one reason, why would that be?
I'd say probably just maturity, to be honest. They played a lot of really good hockey lately, but I think the difference in this stretch and even this year compared to last is, when they've given up a goal early, which they had done in the previous 3 games, they'd given up 4 or 5 goals in the first 5 minutes through the previous 3. They made adjustments. They reacted appropriately. If they came out flat, they responded in the second and third periods with a surge of energy, with confidence, and with a desire to fight. Right? I mean, if you think back to last year, the inaugural season, there were so many games where, they just were not able to put it together for a full 60 minutes. And you're not going to play any game very often for a complete 60 minutes. But if you can have a consistent effort and energy and play with maturity, you're going to put yourself in a spot to win hockey games. And that's what the Mammoth are doing really well right now.
Looking at this trip, you're in Florida, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Florida's become a really nice hockey town. Like, they've got really good teams, and it seems like they've embraced it, though Florida's a much different state than Utah. It's really disjointed. Is it just winning? Do you think that has been a big part of these teams being embraced, or what is it, and maybe something Utah can mimic?
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves a winner, right? The Florida Panthers were kind of the joke of the NHL for most of their existence until they started winning. Obviously, everybody loves to support a championship team, and they made some really good moves. They drafted a couple of really good players, and then once they acquired Matthew Tkachuk from the Calgary Flames a couple of years ago, and Sam Bennett for that matter, kind of put them over the top, and they started competing. They shocked a couple of really good teams in the playoffs, and then eventually made their way to the Stanley Cup final and have won the last 2 in a row. So I think winning has definitely done that for the Panthers, but for Tampa Bay, and I think Utah could learn from this, is they have immersed themselves in that community. There is a lot of really good junior hockey being played in the Tampa area, a lot of that having to do with the junior Lightning programs. And then, obviously, I think winning goes into that as well. I mean, for the last 20 years, Tampa Bay has been, a team that has competed for Stanley Cups. They've won 3. They won back-to-back a couple of years ago. They won a cup in the early 2000s, and they've always just been right there. They've done really well in terms of managing their roster, in terms of moving on from guys when they needed to move on from them. I mean, they did that with Steven Stamkos a couple of years ago, and but they've reloaded. They've found really good talent. They've drafted really well, and they've made some good trades and acquisitions. And I think that the Lightning could be not even just a dark horse team for the Cup this year, but I think they could be a strong competitor coming out of the East.
I know this stretch is pretty brutal, obviously, with the 2 Florida teams and with Carolina. But overall, how hard is the schedule to finish things out for the Mammoth?
I mean, it's definitely favors. It continues to favor them. It's a lot nicer to finish out the year than it was to start. They kind of loaded the front half of their schedule. They were on the road more than any other team in the NHL. And I believe through the next, there's 30 games left. I think 17 of those are going to be at home with the remaining 13 on the road. So an opportunity to make the playoffs. And I think I was checking, playoff percentage chances the other day, and Utah was up at about 80%. And so, if through these next 30 games, if they can win, 17 or 18 of those, so if you can win 9 or 10 at home and then pick up 6 or 7 on the road, they're going to put themselves at about 94 points, which is generally the benchmark to get into the playoffs.
Sounds like there's some good news on the Logan Cooley front.
Yeah, we still don't have like an established timeline on when he could be back, but generally when a player, hits the ice, whether it's in a non-contact or a regular jersey, obviously Cooley was in a blue non-contact sweater. That's generally the first significant step towards a return, and the fact that he's traveling with the team is a good sign. I don't anticipate that we'll necessarily see him play through these next couple of games here on the road, but it kind of signals, hey, he's getting close. We want to get him back into the swing of things. We want him to return to the schedule. Positive news. As Bill Armstrong explained it to me a couple weeks ago, he could come back before or after the Olympics. I think it'll just kind of depend on how quickly he progresses here over the next couple of days, maybe into the next week, because there's only about 5 games left before before the NHL takes their break for the Olympics.
Cole, we appreciate you and your willingness to jump on the show. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Cole.
Hey, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
There you go. Cole Bagley covers the Mammoth for KSLSports.com.
Living it up in Florida right now.
Yeah, just fine road trip to go on.
Yeah, Tampa and then Miami. That's where the Panthers play, right? Those aren't close to each other. I know they seem kind of close. You're like, it's the little tiny tip of Florida. It's like, no, you got to go all the way across the state. Tampa and Florida, opposite ends of the
Tampa and Miami.
Tampa and Miami, excuse me. Tampa
You're struggling with that. You called Florida a town.
Yeah,
it is a town. It's a lousy town.
It's a state, I think.
We should revoke that.
And Miami
Take
is
their
on
statehood away.
the opposite side of the state of Florida as Tampa Bay.
No, it's the town of Florida. We should revoke their statehood. In fact, just let it sink into the ocean.
Also, Tampa Bay is not a town. The town is Tampa.
The Tampa Bay is actually a bay.
It's a city.
Tampa Bay is a city. I don't know what you're talking about, Christian.
I thought the city was called Tampa.
It's called Tampa Bay.
I'm sorry.
The team isn't named after the body of water. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's not. This facility isn't floating in the bay.
Yeah. They don't play on a naval ship.
No.
They should.
That would be cool.
Very unique.
Tampa is a city on Tampa Bay, along Florida's Gulf Coast.
There you go. In the town of Florida.
Great segment.
Florida is a hockey town. I mean, hockey town is a term. That's what I said. Give me crap.
Stay tuned.
Just
More
not
next.
even do the next segment.
Live from the state of Salt Lake City. More Jake and Ben next. 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got it made Jake's and also loves his tie guy. Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my. From the islands to the basketball courts, they bring the engaging their thoughts.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Hey, join The Zone and JJ and Alex at the Boat Show this Friday from 3 to 6 at Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. Your opportunity to shop, compare, and buy the boat of your dreams. See you Thursday for the biggest event of the year for boating enthusiasts.
Shout out to the gamblers out there. They are on it on Twitter. I just tweeted out the Utah Jazz injury report. Yusuf Nurkic is out tonight for the Jazz along with Keontae George. Kevin Love and Lauri Markkanen are both available within seconds. Some guy who does not follow me on Twitter, meaning he's just searching Lauri Markkanen's name, says, will Lauri be on a minutes restriction? I don't know. I don't know what his over-under is. I don't know what I don't know, man. I have no idea. Probably, but I'm not going to respond to that. But they are after it. That is how they make their living, I guess.
Ben, my favorite story of the day, and granted, I guess I'm going to have to listen to another Pablo Torre podcast, but the owner of the Grizzlies.
Notoriously horrendous ownership on the basketball side.
Yeah,
really
Robert
cheap.
Pera, who's, by the way, worth like $28 billion, so doesn't really have a reason to be cheap. Yeah. But he's the founder and CEO of Ubiquity, which is a networking technology company known for developing long-range wireless equipment designed to extend internet connectivity in rural and hard-to-reach areas.
$26 billion. 47 years old. Holy cow.
So he's the owner and CEO of this company. Well, and again, I gotta do a little more research because I haven't listened to the entire, I'm sure, 9-hour podcast. But apparently, they found his communication equipment on some Russian military drones.
Yeah, you said long-range wireless, and the first thing I thought is, I know what's long-range and wireless. There's only one thing we really use that for, and that's weaponry.
So the funniest part about this story, again, that I need to look into, is somehow the brand label and stuff was still on the equipment.
Peel it off, man.
You know what I mean? So
Peel it off.
They found a Russian military drone, and they're like, Ubiquity, huh? That sounds like an American company.
I bet I can Google that.
And so, as you may know, with the sanctions handed down on Russia back in 2014 or something like that,
Like that?
American companies are not supposed to be selling this type of thing to the Russians.
Correct.
For a while now. And actually, it's not the first time that this company has been busted doing such violating sanctions, because back in the teens, they sold equipment to the Iranians, which they were fined by the U.S. government. And Pera actually gave a quote saying, I will never do this again because I can't afford to. Well,
the little blurb in Saddam's book thanking him for his efforts. I know that was a different country, but stop getting linked in with these people.
That's not good.
It's not good,
Now
Pera.
maybe they're buying it off eBay or something like that, but not a good look.
It's not what you
Like that?
It's not what you want. It's not what you want. You don't want your name associated with that. I knew a kid, a friend of mine's older brother, got his car broken into in high school. And the kid who broke into it also went to our high school and left a customized pencil in the kid's car. It had his name. First of all, who has a customized pencil?
I don't know.
It has their own name printed on it. And accidentally fell out of his pocket and fell into the kid's car. And he lived 2 blocks away. So we knew immediately who it was who broke into the car. But
Did you beat him up?
We called the cops, and then they decided not to press charges, which, whatever, I would have. But only kid who's ever punched me, this kid who broke into the car punched me one time. Anyways, how do you leave the sticker on the
What's what's the Arrested Development term? Some light treason? The Grizzlies are having a disappointing year.
Yeah.
Their John Morant has no trade market whatsoever, so they can't get rid of a player that they're dying to get rid of, that they could have gotten rid of a year ago or maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For a haul. Yeah. That they got stuck on that. And now their owner is being alleged some light treason. So there's that.
You wonder how a person worth, what did we decide, 25, 27 billion, could let their team be so drastically mediocre. And you realize, some of these people have bigger fish to fry. Some of these people are in different conversations than whether or not we're getting the most out of John Morant.
Well, here's the thing with lots of owners. Just because you are good at selling guidance systems illegally to the Russians does not mean that you're going to be good at managing a pro sports franchise.
Completely unrelated.
Those skill sets are not the same.
Don't put that on your resume when you're trying to apply. When you're applying to work for the Russian military, don't put owner of the Memphis Grizzlies. It doesn't mean anything to them.
That'd be funny if there was a Grizzlies logo right there. You're not smart enough to not let T. Morant take over your franchise.
Right.
But you are smart enough to develop technology to sell to the Russians for military drones.
To invade Ukraine, yeah.
Not the same skill set at all.
Different animal.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's why Ja has all those different celebrations he hits when he makes 3-pointers.
I think that's what it is, the weapons. All the different weapons.
That was a military drone thing.
It's a nod to his boss.
Who's harming the Russians, apparently. So I guess I'm going to have to listen.
That one before.
I'm going to have to listen to this podcast and see what this is all about. But yeah, not a good day to be a Grizzlies fan. We were kind of joking off the air, I'm pretty sure Ryan Smith and his survey company are probably not selling weapons to illegally to foreign governments.
Yeah, if the angriest thing you've ever done is like you got off of an Amazon purchase and it was like, will you answer these 3 questions real quick just to improve customer service? And you were like, Ryan, how dare you? I'm just trying to buy a USB converter. And Grizzlies are like, no.
Yeah, I don't think he's
World War III
funding resistance efforts in Nicaragua or something. I don't think
I'd be surprised.
Right, I'd
be
too.
Surprised. Yeah. I don't know Ryan that well, but
pretty sure he's into crowdsourcing and apparently urban development.
Yeah, right. Well, different strokes.
If he was arming the Russians, I'd be quite surprised.
Probably have a little more money. He's done quite well for himself.
He's done fine.
He's done very well for
Imagine
himself.
if he sold arms to the Russians. Could have made double his dough.
Yep. He's been doing great. Glad he's not.
Man, the NBA has really had some doozy stories.
Some rough stories lately.
Lately, some real doozies.
Yep. Well, we'll see how the Saudi Arabia stuff works out.
All right, stay tuned. Hans and Scotty G are coming up next.
Thanks, Christian.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.